YouTube, what's going on? Dan here for another video. Finishing up my morning walk. Weighted vest, now at 50 pounds. Crazy, it's about 25 kilos for those in Europe that are watching. But I want to make a quick video based off the story I made. I'm gonna post that before this. But essentially, I'm realizing the way to get a lust for those men that are lost in consuming and thinking women is the answer. I need more sex, essentially, more pussy, and more girls and pictures with girls and on your social media, and what's the other one? Selective pre-selection, using that so women see you with other women, so you think you're getting more girls like that way, and all these bullshit stories that your ego's telling you and feeding you because you're unfortunately with the devil. You think you're God, like I did when I was 22, 23, and I sit down and do this, but you're with the devil and he's guiding you and telling you, yeah man, you just need more girls, it's this way, and now you can go for threesomes and group stuff and sex clubs and all these things. I've been down the whole path, so I know how far you can take it, and when it's too much. And essentially what I've realized is that everyone that I've met in that starts out does it because they have a wound that they don't want to heal. They want to cover it up and bandage it with something external, but essentially someone hurt them. So it's an ex-girlfriend or some girl they liked, or it has to do with some girl, some part that they got hurt deeply, but made a story about it. So they made it even worse. They made this story about it because no one can really hurt you until you make a story about it, or your mind creates a story. So mine, I always mention on my channel, was when I was 21. I met a girl my last year of college. I was about third girl I slept with, had no experience. She basically, pulled me or got me into the relationship. We slept together. I slept over. We became boyfriend, girlfriend. Turned out to be very toxic. She, had an issue with drinking, getting very obnoxious. We ended up having a lot of unprotected sex. I think I left this part out on my other channel, but essentially we didn't use any birth control. We just used Plan B. So we'd have sex, and essentially we would, have it, and then you have about 3 days, 72 hours. So we would do that for 3 days and then take a Plan B, and then that was basically our thing. So I tell people this, and yeah, it's crazy, but yeah, she took about 3 or 4 Plan Bs in like 2 months, which is abnormal amounts of hormones that no woman should be taking. But that is the person that God put in my life to teach me, and eventually we slipped up, and I think we tried to play our luck, play with fire, and we didn't take it one time, ended up getting her pregnant. So this was December. In Canada you graduate about April, so I was about to graduate December, found out I might be a father. So yeah, essentially had to disclose to my parents, and God's plan, she ended up not having it. She was pretty close to having it. I had no say in it. I was brought up to be the one that once you make a decision like that, where you go unprotected and finish in someone, your hands are tied. You can't start to make these claims of like, oh, you have to, you're not having the kid, and you start to make demands. No, as soon as you do that, your hands are tied. You've rolled your dice, and that's what came out. Those are the numbers. So you have to basically deal with that, and that's what happened. So I just put the ball in our court and I said, listen, whatever you decide to do, I'll be there. Obviously shitting my pants. I was 21, and I saw, when you're in that moment, you see your whole life in front of you, and you see, fuck, I'm 21, in the next 18 years you're done. You're done. Like there's no I'm gonna travel after school, or all these plans you have. You have a kid, you need to make money so that kid to survive, and your life is done. So I was basically just the moment you're just thinking, fuck, like who knows what's gonna happen. Like you're stressing young. You're like, I don't have a job, I just graduated. Parents were also going through a rough time, so I had all these stresses, and essentially that put me in a place, very stressed place. I ended up getting psoriasis. You can see it probably a bit now, the video, not sure if you see it, but that's where my biggest battle came, my biggest test. And I didn't see it because everything is a test. I didn't see it at the moment, but ended up going to a bad depression afterwards. Actually, she didn't have the kids, so we split up, and then, had this bad thing because I didn't have any experience with women. So yeah, that basically was what caused me to go into it, because I was also treated badly by her. I was always getting projected of like, oh, you're spoiled, because my parents obviously never had us worry about food, or there were food missing on the table, so she didn't have the same thing. She had the complete opposite. So yeah, she was just projecting onto us, and essentially I used that was my fuel to get into women. So I know firsthand that that everyone has a story, and essentially your story and what's causing you to go into it needs to be resolved, and that's your escape from lust. Because I've been there, where you're creating the story in your head of like, oh, she's gonna see me now, before she was with me and I had no girls, but now I have girls. And you start to create these scenarios and things in your head that are not real, but your ego is using, because your ego, the devil, knows your little pains, knows your little weakest points. He knows all your devils, things that you create feelings around and stories around, and that's what's going to use to guide you like a little puppet, like a little puppeteer, and just like moving you this way, because it's either you're a vessel for God or a vessel for the devil. When you're an ego and you think you're the big G and you have all figured out, you are with the devil. You're never with God. And when you're with God, you're in spirit, so you're not thinking, you're not creating stories, you're simply following his steps. So I've been able to feel both, and we are spiritual, and I can tell you, being in spirit and living how you're supposed to live as a spiritual being in a physical world is the way to live. That's how we're designed to live. But the world tells you it's opposite of this fast life, and chase this and chase that and girls, and especially when you're young. But your ego creates a story, and you start to indulge in women, and you think, your ego makes you think that this person's gonna one day see you, and you start to like document it and show it online, and one day she's gonna see me with all these girls, and then you start taking pictures with girls. It's to take pictures, post videos with girls, like make these like collages, or like mixes, or whatever it is, montages with women that I was like in clubs with, and like not chasing, polling, or with, and like you're just lost in that story you're telling yourself. And men that are watching this is for men. You're never gonna get out of that until you forgive not only that person, that's number one, but also yourself. And yourself is the most important part, because that's the relationship you're dealing with 24/7, and you have to build. But essentially yourself, because you were at a point where you were weak, and someone was able to take advantage of you per se, or whatever it is, but you're in a situation where you attracted that person, and you didn't know what you were doing, you didn't know where you were. If you're young, especially 18 to like 21, 22, you're still a leaf in the wind. You don't know what's happening. You're not able to make conscious decisions as conscious as you are when you get older. 21 you are, but you're still naive. So you have to forgive that person. Forgiveness is the way out. It's not more women, it's not more of this, it's not more of that, it's not threesomes, it's not foursomes, it's not whatever you think it is, sex clubs, and like, it's, you have to stop going out, sit with yourself, let all these emotions come out, and forgive. You have to whatever it is, cry, punch something, go do boxing classes and punch people in the face if you have to, and like get that anger out, get that energy out that's consumed in you. It's all this like dark energy that's consumed that you created a story about. Get that out, forgive yourself, pray, say I forgive this person, like do it over and over, 10, 20, 50 times if you have to, and do it for yourself as well. Forgive that person, forgive yourself, and that is when you begin to lose those desires and those feelings to go out and just chase the night, because I said I was there, and I know how far I can take it, like going till 5 a.m., 6 a.m. looking for women. I remember sleeping with women and going, sleeping with a girl at 2 a.m., 3 a.m., and then going up until 4 or 5 to find another one. That's how lost you can get in this desire of chasing and needing something else. So you really have to, something in the back, I'm not sure what's weird. You have to forgive. Forgiveness is your way out. And when you're in ego watching this, you're like, oh fuck, forgiveness, why should I forgive this person? But that is your avenue. Like I said, I've been where if you're just starting out, you're not gonna do this at all. But it takes courage to forgive. it takes maturity to forgive. It's only every little boy can go and chase pleasure and find it in women, you know, especially when you get good and it's easy to do, and you can just get a new girl every weekend, every few days. You could get multiple girls in a day, like I was able to. But you can get lost in that, and you're just a boy chasing pleasure. And what we have to do is become a man. And man is able to withdraw from his desires of this world, these worldly desires of women and sex and masturbation and porn, all these things. I can tell you right now, sincerely, in the camera, authentically, since being on this journey, working with my coach the last few months, I haven't had thoughts of masturbating, watching porn, going and chasing a girl for casual sex. It's all a spiritual battle that you're not seeing because you're living on the mental and physical plane. The spiritual plane is where everything comes from, but you're not able to be there because you're still in the mental, you're still in the ego. And that's all thinking, that's all your mind, it's all creating stories and shows and the circus in your head that you think is real. And like I said, that person that hurt you is not gonna see you. They don't care. They don't even know that they still exist in your mind because they're living their own life. So you wasting years of your life and creating this thing that they're going to see me one day. And, you know, I even did it, and I sent that person the video of me with multiple women. She just blocked me. And still my mind created all these things of, you know, you're going to see me one day and all this bullshit. Your ego is basically you making its puppet. Do you want to be the devil's puppet? Like basically its bitch? That's what you're succumbing to when you're chasing and just like letting desires, you know, be the center of your life and just living this hedonistic lifestyle. It's, you know, sold to you everywhere externally, so you're always going to stay there. But when you realize it's a battle that you're not seeing, spiritual, and you have to go against basically everything in this world, because this world's designed to keep you low frequency and just chasing pleasures, that is when you can ascend and, you know, start removing that lust. But until you don't forgive, you're lost in that. You're a prisoner to desires, you're a prisoner to your flesh, and you actually understand what you're here to do in your spirit and the mission you have and the purpose you have and the spiritual gifts you have to give this world. So I just wanted to throw quickly because, you know, as I was reflecting, I realized that until I forgave myself, any woman that hurt me, I forgave that person, any woman that hurt me, or most importantly myself, for being in the position where I was hurt and created that story, that is when everything changed. Until then, I was just indulging in more desires and being sold that it's here, it's there, it's this girl, it's that one, it's 2 girls, it's 3 girls, 4, sex clubs, trips with girls, drugs with girls, alcohol. You know, you can get such a rabbit hole with it. Like, it's, you never understand. But I've been through all of it, and I can tell you, coming out of it, going in, teaching people to go in, you know, getting results in it, seeing them come out, me coming out, it's all in forgiveness of that person. So hope this video helped you. If it did, like and subscribe. Like I said, I'm gonna post the stories on my Instagram. From my Instagram on there, you can connect with me there. It's the same username as, you know, my YouTube, Mr. Daniel Arsley, and I can help you with getting out of this because, like I said, I've been there. I know how it is to get out, what you need to get out, and being out and not having those desires and lust, and be able to focus on other things that you're here to do and God brought you here to do, because you have a big purpose. The bigger your desires and bigger your devils, the bigger your glory with God and purpose you have. So I want to share quickly. Hope you guys enjoy your day. You know, develop good habits. You'll see my habits on my Instagram: waking up at the same time, training every day, food, macros, removing vices, stuff like that. That's what's going to help you stay aligned and see what you're here to do. So God bless. If you stay till the end, much love. Like and subscribe if you like the content, and comment below as well where you're at. We'd love to hear and connect with you. But otherwise, enjoy your day, night, or morning, wherever you're at. And until next time, as always, keep killing it.